So, you gave a good argument in the last video why the squares had to be odd. Can you repeat that argument?
So, we have an odd number over here, and we have to get that odd number through a sum. We know this number is going to be even.
Okay.
So, to get the odd number, you have to do an even plus an odd number.
All right.
So the square, you have to have a square of an odd number, because odd times odd is odd, but even times even is even. So that's odd is the only way you can get the odd number.
Okay, nice. And what that argument comes from looking at this problem in what mod?
What mod? What?
Do you know?
Looking at in mods,
Yeah.
mod 8.
Well, the argument you just gave about the things having to be even or odd.
No, it's just mod 2.
That's mod 2. Is there, does this problem suggest a mod that we might look at that could also maybe provide more information?
Mod 8, because we're looking, the numbers are definitely related to mod 8.
How?
Because
They're all 3 mod 8.
Yeah.
They're all 3 mod 8.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look at the squares mod 8 and let's see what we get.
Okay.
And that might tell us something a little bit more about the primes. Because remember, one of the things we were wondering was, could we have 2 ever as one of the primes?
Yeah.
So let's look at the squares mod 8. Okay. Remember, ultimately we're trying to add up to 3 mod 8.
Yep.
Okay, so how do our squares go mod 8?
So we're going to look at 1,
1 squared, so
3,
it's
and 5, and 7.
Ah, alright, so we only have to look at the odd one. So 1 squared mod 8 is
1.
3 squared mod 8 is
Also 1.
5 squared mod 8 is
1. 7, that's also 1.
And then all the squares are going to be, or all the odd squares should always be 1, 3, 5, or 7 mod 8. Like the number you're squaring.
okay.
So they're all going to go to 1 mod 8, it looks like.
Alright, so we have this very interesting and maybe surprising thing. That the odd squares are always 1 mod 8. Can you figure out why that would be true?
The odd squares, well, all of the odd squares that you're going to look at are going to be these.
Okay.
And we figured out that these numbers mod 8, and then if you square these numbers, we already figured out what these are.
Okay, so that's one good argument. There's only 4 cases.
Mm-hmm.
So we may as well just check the 4 cases. Can you figure out sort of a general argument why any odd integer, I should say, squared is equal to 1 mod 8?
Well, it's always going to be equal to 1 mod 2, which mod 8 can be 1 mod 8, 3 mod 8, 5 mod 8, or 7 mod 8.
Okay.
I guess you could do one better and say they're equal to, are the odd numbers are always equal to, since they're all 1 mod 2, they're always equal to 1 mod 4.
Why wouldn't they be necessarily equal to 3 mod 4?
Oh, yeah, I guess they could be. So, when you square, so what if they all have to go to 1?
Yeah, why does that happen?
8 doesn't have a nice square root that we can look at for the mod.
No. Think about how we could represent an odd integer.
It's like 2n plus 1.
Okay. So 2n plus 1 for n an integer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what's 2n plus 1 squared going to be?
It's 4n squared.
4n squared.
Plus 4n plus 1.
4n plus 1. Now, we were always getting this left over 1 when we divide it by 8. So that must mean this is divisible by 8. So why is 4n squared plus 4n always divisible by 8?
Well, we can take the 4 out, and then we left with 4 times the quantity n squared plus n.
Yeah.
And then if n is odd or if n is even, that's going to result in an even number. Because
Okay, so you can factor a 4 out.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that can factor out?
n could come out too.
1 times n plus 1.
N plus 1. So why is this always divisible by 8?
Well, so if n is odd, you have even number and then you have an even number here. And then if n is even, you have even number here times an odd number there.
So one of these two will always be even.
Okay.
And then so you'll always have an 8 that you can.
One of these, n and n plus 1, is always even. And so why does it always give me an 8?
Because you can you can
divide by 2.
probably just take the 2 out of whatever is even and then add it or multiply it to the 4 and then you get an 8.
Okay, so there we go. So we see for any general number, our squares, any general odd integer, our square is always going to be 1 mod 8. That's actually pretty useful to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we'll see about what kind of primes we can find. All right?
Alright.